Good evening, welcome to another exciting edition of Big Talker program where we highlight political issues concerning Nigeria and around Nigeria. Tonight there's been lots of trending political discussions in the country, and tonight we want to look at our political party as they take center stage leading us in this democratic journey. And also to play a very crucial role in midwiving the elections, in midwiving the candidates that will eventually, become those who will go into political offices and lead us in this country called Nigeria. Good evening and welcome to the program. My name is Ubong Usoro, and let's go for this break. When we're back, we get to introduce our guest for tonight, and we talk about Nigeria's political party and all of the things we're seeing. Interestingly, after more than 4 months of permutation, former Vice President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar has officially gotten his registration as a member of the African Democratic Congress. And we'll also look at the PDP as we talk to a former local government chairman tonight on the program after the break. Tonight on the program, the topic that we'll be discussing says Nigeria's political party at the center. And we have joining us Mr. Destiny Enabulele, a comrade, a former chairman of Ovia Southwest local government area in Edo State, who's joining us again tonight. A very good evening to you.
Mr. Sorrow, I appreciate you, and I want to thank your platform for yet another opportunity.
All right, so I will talk about Nigeria's political party at the center. Just a few hours ago, we saw a former vice president, a former member of your party, PDP, getting officially his registration as a member and a national leader. The membership came with a title of national leader from the African Democratic Congress, the ADC, after lots of speculation and permutation about him joining that political party. And I even got some of my friends. I cover your political party, PDP, in Abuja. Yeah. I got some of my friends saying that the party was talking to bring him back, right, and see how to bring him back to the party. But it seems he's not coming back. Atiku Abubakar joining the ADC officially.
Well, Mr. Sorrow, the former president is former vice president, is someone that I respect a lot. For me, as a child that grew up in home that respect age and respect senior, no doubt he has to some extent contributed to the evolution of PDP at the time. So he has been one of the founding fathers of PDP. That you can't take away. For me, him having officially today the ADC is no longer news, because it has been all over, and that he has been one of the forerunners of ADC by way of trying to give the needed oxygen to ADC. To some of us, participants and watchers, we appreciate him and we thank him for at least, still remaining in the saddle, of the political saddle. Some of his contemporaries, as we speak, they've since backed out from active politics, but here he's still very much active. So for that, we must give him kudos for there to give the needed, insight, the needed, energy, the needed oxygen for the younger ones to at least to some extent looked at him and perhaps have one or two things to copy from him and run along as relate to politics. Because you all know that democracy has come to stay, and the business of the day. That's why for me, I always appeal to all Nigerians to be active in this democracy, because if we decide to say that politics is a dirty thing, at the end of the day, we allow the dirty ones to be presiding over us. At the very, betting of this, dispensation, in 1999. Some of well-to-do persons, some of the intellectuals, some of the, just name them. They thought that the military were going to hand over. So they stayed back. And with utmost humility, they never do worse. As my English teacher in the secondary school will refer to them. Those that, they never do worse. They are always at the back.
1999, if you are saying those at the back, we have people like Olusegun Obasanjo. Was he at the back? This same Atiku Abubakar in 1999. Those were front runners in my state. We have Victor Atta.
Don't let us go there. Don't let us go. You understand what I'm saying? Then I will just rest it at that.
And that class of governors.
Today you can't put me on the hot seat.
that class of governors are seen as the best crop of governors, at least to some extent.
To some extent, yes, to some extent. They are more formidable compared to these feeding bottles governors we have very just
What
now.
did you call them again?
Feeding bottles governor that we have very just now. With utmost humility. I respect them a lot. I respect the office. So for me, let's move ahead. I respect Atiku Abubakar. He's a man that I, for one, have so much respect and regard for him. No matter what.
Right, but in moving to the ADC now, because we saw at first, we saw a resignation from the PDP, and that was sacrosanct. But we didn't see a political party. In fact, when people aligned him with the ADC at the time, we saw his media say, for now, he's not made a choice as to which party. He has had talks with the coalition. Yes, the coalition has chosen the ADC, but as a political party, he has not made that decision. And we saw the ADC come out to say, okay, we are giving until the 10th of November for those who want to join us to come. And yeah, it's been some days past that deadline, and we've now seen him officially joining the ADC, even when some persons believe that the ADC may have been created for him, by him, and of him. If you look at the means of creation, like they say, means of doing business in economics, he may have. Because just a minute, because the campaign office of Atiku Abubakar here in Abuja, the 2023 campaign office of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, is the same office that the ADC now uses as its national secretariat in Abuja. And although they've said Atiku was a tenant, they could also be a tenant. But let's not. But looking at all of this, do you think there was some form of political gimmicks, in the midst, trying so that Nigerians don't get to understand where he's going at the time?
Sorry, let me be very frank with you. I'm a realist. I believe so much in the truth. What has propelled me from my infancy to very just now, because I can look at you and tell you the truth. No matter who you are, I will tell you the truth. Let me be very frank. PDP, ADC. I think I have once, advocated that there is need for both to form a coalition or form a synergy, whichever name you want to call it. Because let us not trying to play tete-a-tete with it. The only way to give a good fight to the party and government, to the party in power and this present government, is for both ADC and PDP to come together, whether a merger, a coalition, whichever one. But there must be a meeting point to be able to wrestle this government as it is very just now, because there is for a pragmatic leader that can steer us from this, this quagmire that is fast, exposing the humanity in us. It is exposing the humanity in us, sincerely. As a result of this security, if you've seen, last week has been a week of terror in this country. So we want to see. We are looking for a leader that knows his onions and that can look at anybody and say, no, to hell. The people at the grassroots, the Nigerian masses. That is the people, because the power belongs to the Nigerian masses. So you can't have power and begin to serve a selected few. That is it. Because as we speak, I tell you, I was expecting someone from Edo, because we had something we have to do last week. The person because there was no money for him to fly the aeroplane. So he was a little bit scared. So you have to go on a 3 days fast to come from Edo to this place. Absolutely. I have to join the person in the fast. So So it's as bad as that. So for me,
Is it fasting to before you
before
start on
can
the road?
turn through the road to Abuja. I'm not joking. So for us as a Nigerian that wish Nigeria to get out of this quagmire, all of us must put our hand on the plow by way of looking for a viable person, because as we currently have, with utmost humility, this not they are far from being viable. That is the gospel truth. Because if you look at it, last week here, we had the kidnapping in Niger, in Kebbi, and even in Kwara State. And they've told us that they've been able to retrieve, permit me to use that word, the abducted ones. But what about the perpetrators? Right. What has happened to them? They have kept us, the average Nigerians, in the dark. We are not aware of what is happening. Is it because there is an insinuation that the present presidency or president, I know I said it in this platform, that they are likely to 6.5 dozen. They are one and the same. Whether they are in bed with the bandits. In some quarters, they are saying they are in bed with the bandits. Perhaps they are putting the average Nigerians in the dark, and we're all living in fear.
Yeah, so we'll talk politics now.
Yes, it's politics.
We'll come.
Because see, let me be very frank with you. There is a saying in my very rich Benin language, as my grandmother would put it, what that means, there can never be anything meaningful in an atmosphere of rancor.
Right.
I'm coming. When there is peace, that is when the imam, the pastor, or the bishop, or those that practice the African, the Babalawos can consult their gods.
Right. So
if there is no peace, we can't be here.
So I was asking about Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. You think that that move of he came out first, resigned from the PDP, took some months before finally coming out now in Yola Adamawa to say, I am a member of the ADC. Do you think it was political gimmickry around that particular move of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar?
Sorrow, and Nigerians, this is not the first time that is jumping the ship, that is cross-carpeting. I don't know why I want to make a lot of holabaloo from this present one of living. If you recall, is one of those that give the needed oxygen to the coalition of the CPC and APC to unseat the SY president, the person of Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. So for me, this present one, to me, is not new, because to some of us, we have already zeroed our mind that is going to ADC. So we don't know. But at any rate, what I'm saying is this, and what I'm selling to the leadership of both parties is that they look for a meeting point to reconcile their differences and form a formidable force to be able to give the party in power and the government a very tough fight. Otherwise, it is business as usual.
All right, so I'll come back to you as we highlight the issues around your party now, because we're looking at Nigeria's political party, and as the political party stay in the center now, your political party, the PDP, it seems to be, you mentioned the word quagmire. It seems that your party at the moment is in quite a dilemma as to who is the chairman. But we had a press briefing the other day where the National Publicity Secretary, who Barrister Inyemo Ememobong, spoke about some of the things he thinks is happening in Nigeria and the position of the PDP, his faction of the PDP as to that. Let's bring that particular report now.
It has been a week of fear, tension, and tears across northern Nigeria as armed groups carried out multiple attacks on schools, abducting hundreds of students. But the People's Democratic Party says the federal government's response has been slow, weak, and dangerously close to conceding ground. The PDP National Publicity Secretary, Ini Ememobong, warned that moves by some state governments and the federal government to shut down schools amount to giving terrorists exactly what they want: an end to formal education in northern Nigeria.
In response to this, different state governments in the affected region have taken disparate measures, while the federal government has yet to give any concrete direction.
The party notes that the North already accounts for most of Nigeria's 18.3 million out-of-school children, according to UNICEF. A further closure of schools, it says, would deepen the crisis and embolden criminal groups.
If the schools are closed, the goal of the terrorists would have inadvertently been achieved.
The PDP also said asking the Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matawale, to relocate to Kebbi State is not a solution to the problem, as there are other states being affected by insurgency. Ubong Usoro for Global Television News.
A faction of the PDP where we have as chairman Kabiru Tanimu, who is a senior advocate of Nigeria at the convention that was done in Ibadan, Oyo State capital, says the federal government is slow in handling insecurity in Nigeria. But the other faction of the party, where we have Sam Anyanwu still as the secretary of the party, and we have Abdurrahman, who is at the time, right, the chairman of that particular faction. They've not said anything, but let's talk to an insider and a member of the PDP who was a former local government chairman as to what is happening in the party at the time. Two different factions. The other day, I was at Wadata Plaza, and it was quite a drama. When we got there earlier in the morning, we noticed that at Wadata Plaza, Samuel Anyanwu was already in his office, and he was attending to business as the national secretary of the party. And after he was chased out, or his group left and all of that, when Kabiru Tanimu came in and his own faction of the party took over position, and the other party reinforced, came in, took over the secretariat, until the police had to come in and intervene and actually put on that barricade that you have at the PDP headquarters here in Abuja. Wuse, if you go there now, you actually see that barricade. Let's talk about the PDP. Which of the factions are you supporting, Mr. Destiny? We have two factions. We have Abdurrahman, former vice chairman for North, and we have the faction of Kabiru Tanimu. And by the way, this morning I checked the INEC portal. For PDP chairman, we still have Damakun as the chairman on INEC portal, and we still have Samuel Anyanwu as the secretary, as at when I checked. But let me ask you, which faction of the PDP are you supporting? Who's your chairman? Who's the PDP chairman?
Sorrow.
You could drop a name.
No, I am totally in line with the Ibadan convention. Totally. I have a leader or leaders. So for me, I must use the opportunity to appreciate Governor Bala Makinde and his associates for the display of solidarity, the display of doggedness that they put up at the party secretariat. I said it in this platform that my message to the average Nigerians, I've been saying this, that I've been canvassing, that as we all go out to gym every day, every week, at least we must set aside, if it's just an hour, 30 minutes, 45 seconds, or 45 minutes to practice madness towards or in preparation for 2027. That's the only way, because you know why? I grew up in a village. I remember those days. I grew up in the midst of girls, cousins. There was a scenario that she was coming from the school. There was a boy that approached her, blah blah blah, and insult and all of that. And my cousin was beaten up. And as guys, we mobilized, got into the house. We saw some able-bodied men with chests. So we have to retrace our step. So in a nutshell, what I'm telling Nigerians, when those that have bastardized this country, perhaps that I believe that they will cook the forthcoming general election by way of, bringing in figures like what they did in Edo. When they see us that we are prepared for the elections in our various units, in our various RAC centers, in our various local government collating, in our states, and they see that we are heavily mobilized and we are prepared for the election, they will have a rethink and do not go their way. And so I'm appealing to Nigerians that we all, as we go out to gym, we must set aside an hour or 45 minutes to practice madness in preparation for 2027.
That's quite a message that you're giving on national TV.
Definitely, because you see, we must be very frank. Desperate time requires desperate measure.
And I hope you're not advocating for violence.
No, I'm not advocating. You saw what Yerima, I think is naval officer. You see what I'm saying, that you should have confidence. you should be able to challenge the status quo. If someone tell you that you are a fool, can tell the person, I'm not a fool, sir. You are the biggest fool. No, I'm not the biggest fool, sir. Right. So you must know your onions. So that is it. That's the point I'm saying.
Talking about that.
Like I'm coming, sir. Let me land with this thought. Let me land with this thought. Like when I said that the Bala and Makande, what they put up in the PDP national. So I'm not as if they were able to say, okay, we own this is our party, and we are the legitimate, occupant of this party, as we speak very justly.
Right, but I just,
so for me, that is exactly. I'm not saying I'm not advocating for violence.
I just told
I'm not advocating for violence.
Before I brought that information, I told you what we have at the moment on INEC portal. I told you we still have Damagu as a chairman and Sam Anyanwu, which he said he's not a permanent secretary, and if he must be, his tenure must elapse, and he mentioned the dates according to your constitution. I'm not speaking for them, but look at that convention. The chairman of the National Organizing Committee of the convention, Governor Fintiri of Adamawa State, was not in support of the expulsion of some members of your party. We've had the governor of Taraba State. We've had the governor of Osun State. We've had Rivers State governor. 4 governors in a party that you've lost over 5 governors in 6 months. Are not in support of that particular expulsion, and you're saying you are in bed with that. Are you not dividing your party with that statement?
Sorry, at the very starting of this program, you gave kudos to governors of 1999 to 2027, which the present president then, as he then was a governor of Lagos State. That's when we had a very formidable, viable, fearless governors with utmost humility. I said it earlier that the crop of governors we have, including my own, the Asiwaju, according to the way he pride himself, the Asiwaju senior son. So to some of us in Edo, we now begin to ask, where is Sheyi? Is Sheyi no longer the senior son of? So for me, I'm doing the research, and very soon I will come up with a small article. So see whether Sheyi now is no longer the son of Asiwaju. For me, I'm confused at this point in time. But not my governor, confusion. Then when he was trying to present a budget, he said the figures is confusing me. So let's leave it at that. The point I'm saying that the crop of governors we have now, with utmost humility, I respect their office and their person. You agree with me? They are Finibotto governor with utmost humility. Perhaps you must have come across. There are some overfed last born. When they are overfed, they are overpampered. They begin to behave like someone whose cognitive reasoning has since departed. You understand my point? Like when I was in secondary school, I had about 2-3, last borns overfed. They pampered them, and at times they can't even differentiate their left from their right. At times, their parents go ahead to write their exams for them. We have seen such. So the present governors we have, they are likened to over pampered. Even for them, you heard that for a governor to cross carpet, they are giving 250 billion by the president of presidency. For me, what do you expect? And they have more money now. Go to our various states about the subnational government. Go and see whether this more money is translating to projects or is translating to uplifting the life of the citizens of that state or the indigenous of that state. So for me, there is a fundamental problem. That I've been saying this thing. The man in the saddle of leadership, that is President Ahmed Bola Ahmed Tinubu. If you go back to history, when he was a governor, 1999 to 2027, if you see what happened in Lagos State by way of the politicking and alignment and realignment, that's exactly what is happening at the national space. I said it in this platform or some other sisters platform. So for us, the politics of Nigeria. What the average the politics is not the politics of progress. It's not the politics of giving us the life that we deserve. The politics of empowering the pockets of some few, which is as we currently have now, so that to silence them. You can see those that are talking now. No, you are not among those of us that are in the streets. Those are supposed to. I don't want to mention names. Like during the the fuel subsidy saga, where some big names, pastors and what professors, but today they have gone comatose. They cannot, the gods can no longer speak. So for me, there is a problem because the man in saddle of leadership now know how to dangle some carrots.
So the man
and you mortgage your conscience. They have since mortgaged their conscience.
The man in the saddle of leadership is why the chairman of the commission organizing committee of your party said he is against the decision to expel some prominent members of your party that at that convention, which you say you are in support of that convention, including the FCT minister. Is Bola Ahmed Tinubu that is why is the reason why Fintiri is against that decision? That's what they are saying. Make it make sense.
You see, whatever that we are saying now, you cannot exonerate president.
But this is a PDP affair.
I'm telling you the gospel truth.
This is a PDP
you can see the way I'm talking. I'm on my low tune. I will remain like this until the end.
This is a PDP affair.
Ooh, you see, we are students of history. If you study 1999, even till during Ambode and to first tenure of this president, even till now, what happened in Lagos State, and look at what is happening at the national polity. You agree with me that indeed the demand.
That means the man will be very strategic for the chairman of the convention of a political party.
Sorrow.
To be against.
Listen. You see, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a strategic person. Let nobody deceive you. I'm not here to come play politics. I'm going to be very frank. We must give it to. I told you when I was a student, I followed him when he came up with that what's that called? Organizing whether
LCDS.
No, after LCDA, he organized to be a governor for some few minutes or something like that. I followed him all. So at the time I was in Lagos, I visited Alasa to do one or two research. So the man, see, Nigerians, the key players of Nigerian politics today, they know the man. So let us not. Nobody can survive. Were to be another person can survive the kind of politics that is playing the national. Nobody. I challenge anybody. If I'm not from the north, from the south, the kind of politics that Asiwaju is doing now, I'm not his fan. Nobody can survive it. I challenge anybody. Do you know what it is? See, I'm a realist. I will tell you the truth. I'm not a member of his party.
What kind of politics is he playing? You can. We're having conversations with the destiny. What kind of politics is he playing?
See, you know how to get to your soul. Bola Ahmed Tinubu know how to get to your soul. He's a man that is liking to give what belongs to Caesar, and what belongs to God, so that you can move on. So
that decision to expel Nyesom Wike at that convention, do you think it came at the right time? Because for some persons, they say it was a decision that would have been taken some months back.
I belong to that class. I belong to that class.
At this time, reconciliation would have been perfect or better.
You see, I said it in other platform. I think about last week here. I told them that the issue of suspension and my other brother. Yeneba of FCT. They should have
the FCT minister.
Yes, long before now. Perhaps by now the dust should have been settling down and all of that. But now, I think it was this place. I said it was to be my era, I've long before now. But at a point, I now looked at it. Have a second. Even some of the governors. I looked at issues from different dimensions. At the time, PDP was solely, Nyesom Wike was solely in charge in terms of, just name it, as his, or not facet, or as a party. He was in control, finances and everything. Even there was a time I visited the national secretary of the party. The questions of governance that some governors that they weren't paying their yearly dues or monthly dues. But here you are, Nyesom Wike, you will dole it out and pay the workers' salaries and all of that. At the time, they abandoned the party for him. Even with due respect to Atiku Abubakar, he abandoned the party. And again, he came. So that's what, see, for me, I try to weigh the options. I try to look at it. I don't just say, yeah, yes, on Wike to some extent, he's good. I remember the encounter I had with him during my SY Governor Godwin Ogea's second tenure, when he was humiliated from APC. And he was in the forefront to accommodate. And he tested out everything, finances in person. At the time, he was in Edo State. I remember a song that we sang in Edo that time. Wike de Como, Wike de Como. If you go, it's still there in the social media. People are running katakiti because Wike is coming. He was in at the 11th hour of the election. He was with us. So you can't take that away from him. He has his own good side. He has his own ugly side. But for me, yes, too much of a tea is bad. Even ordinary water. If you have too much of water, at times it will go the other way. You might end up in the hospital. So for me, I must appeal to everybody, because the only true national party that we have now, and that can give APC and president or presidency the desired, opposition, is PDP. And again, they must see a way to balance it and settle their scores and form an alliance or coalition with ADC. To say that in isolation, ADC, PDP, my brother, before 11th of that voting day, they will announce the winner.
We'll talk about that when we come back.
Before 11th.
We'll talk about that. Let's go for our first break, and when we'll come back, we'll still talk Nigeria's politics and how political parties are now in the center. My name is Obongso. We'll be right back after this break. Very good evening and welcome to another exciting edition of Big Talk. Tonight on the program,
as always, it's a pleasure to have you join us here on Global Morning. I am Uyi Alpo.
You know how we do it on Social Post Extra, bringing you all the...
On the desk this evening, we have very topical issues to discuss, and of course...
Welcome to your parliamentary program, The Parliament.
A joyful home doesn't happen by chance. It is built on...
Men can rise beyond traditional boundaries to claim their rightful place as
a numerous committee, about more than 12 committees.
Face to Face is a program that comes to you once in a week at about this time, where we look into issues and discuss them. It gives you the opportunity to
rule years in United
Welcome
Nigeria.
To Entertainment Circle. And trust me, today you're about to get entertained.
Hello everyone and welcome to the program Talk Sports here on Global Television.
One of them is that platform where we bring young and talented artists.
Stay tuned, stay inspired, stay with Global Television on DSTV channel 365, on Star Times channel 276.
Welcome back if you're just joining us. This is Big Talk, a program where we highlight political issues concerning Nigeria. And tonight we're looking at Nigeria's political party at the center and how our political party have influenced decisions, has influenced policies, influenced the economy of the country. And we have with us live in the studio Mr. Destiny Enabulele, who is a former chairman of Ovia Southwest local government in Edo State. Has joined us live as we have this talk. Thank you so much, Mr. Destiny, for staying with us. Let's get straight now to other questions I have to ask. As we talk about Nigeria's politics and political party, there's a question, because we just talked about former Vice President Atiku Abubakar moving from 1999. We know that in 93,
SDP.
Yeah, in 1999 to 2007, he was of the PDP stock. Getting to 2000 early 2007 thereabout, he left to the AD at the time. And we also saw him moving from that particular political party, came back to the PDP, went back to the APC, with that branch of the NPDP, the new PDP at the time, came back to the PDP. So there's been movements to and fro the PDP. And at this moment, some persons say he should be a statesman and not want to run for political party. But from observation and the body language we are seeing, he may be running for president. And you talked about having formidable candidates. He's one candidate that knows that at least he could bring 6 million votes to the table or 8 million votes to the table. He's done that consecutively over time. Do you think it's right to still have Atiku Abubakar at this point, after so many contestations, still wanting to be Nigeria's president?
So, the coming election is not an election of party or parties. It is Nigerians' election. It is election of the people. It is the people versus, permit me, the ruling class, not the ruling class. We must take that home. Nigerians. That is why I started by saying that just now, that if indeed they are serious about what they are saying in their closet, because I've happened to had 1 or 2 interface with them in their closet across the length and breadth of this country, they should endeavor to set aside some minutes or even hour to practice madness in preparation for 2027. I have equally said that the PDP, the ADC, they should look for a common ground and see where they can fuse or perhaps form a merger or form alliance, whichever coalition, whichever language they deem fit. So, or where they deem fit, let them come up with. Say they individually, so by way of in isolation, a PDP, ADC to confront PDP featuring presidential candidate, ADC featuring to confront the already existing. It's going to be very difficult. Right. You can take that today's date, write it down. But before 12 noon of the day of election, the winners are started jubilating. That is the gospel. Not the winner. If the APC as a party, they started jubilating, I must be very frank.
So one of the members of your party and also a NEC member of your party, I sat there and he said that your party is already speaking to Peter Obi to come back to your party. Because as it stands, in fact, I had the National Secretary of the Labour Party also sit here, Umar Farouk, and he told me that he does not see Peter Obi running for 2027 general election because which platform will he be running on? Is it the ADC platform? Is it the PDP platform? Is it the Labour Party platform? But let me ask you now, as a party member and a member of the PDP, do you think it's the right thing that your party should be looking and asking Peter Obi to come back to your party and get the ticket, maybe an automatic ticket as a way of, mobilizing him or galvanizing him to come back to your party?
You see, I was a candidate in the 2023 election, the House of Assembly, that I spent 6 months in the Edo State House of Assembly, and I was removed by Dennis. Then he was in the House of Rep because both of us were from the same constituency. He used Bajabi Amila to remove me from the House of Assembly by way of using the court. I've said this in different platforms. This is not the first time I'm saying it. Because I have a privileged information. I spent 6 months. So for us, what we passed through, to some of us that emerged as the party flag bearer in the House of Assembly, in the House of Reps, in the Senate, there was a litigation from the lower court to the Supreme Court. So the time and energy and money that we would have devoted to campaigning and reaching out to the interior, over 60% were devoted to how to win the court. Because it is when you win the court that you can now, if you just go ahead and be campaigning without winning the court, it will be in vain. So I see again, PDP still in that route this time. So for me, as of today, I don't know what tomorrow, because I can't say, I'm not omnipresent. As of today, I don't see PDP as a viable platform. I'm a real.
At the national level?
Across board.
Even at the subnational?
Yes, because it's the national that will cascade. Who signed the state governor, the House of Assembly? It's from the national. So when there is litigation, there's going to be a problem. Also, they are going to be subjected to another litigation from the lower court to the Supreme Court. It's of time and money that you have devoted to reaching out to your people or conversing to your people, wooing them to vote for you and your party. You will have over 60% of it, channeled to Abuja, flying from Benin to, flying from Katsina to, flying from Lagos to. So there is a problem. So for me, as I said today, please, not tomorrow, I don't see PDP as a viable, underlying platform to run as of today. But I don't know what tomorrow. Perhaps they are putting in their internal mechanism. I'm not yet a state leader. I'm not a talk of a national leader. So I don't know what is going on at the national level. That's why I said just now that the leaders of both parties, ADC and PDP, they should look for a common ground to see how they can, come together and form either a merger, a coalition, whichever name they deem it fit. Because for them to come together to some extent, to give the present party at the national, sleepless night in Aso Rock, a sleepless night.
Right. Talking about coming together, we saw in 2023 what we never saw before. Somebody who just came out and from nowhere, the Labour Party wasn't that a popular political party. But the moment Peter Obi jumped on that platform, you saw the wave that came with it, and 6 million votes in the bag for a first-time political runner in Nigeria using a platform like Labour Party. It's a big deal. We've seen politicians who have felt that they have names and all of that go on platforms, and they're not even able to have 2 million votes. I could count very popular names, right? But do you think your parties should be talking to Peter Obi to come back? And some people have even talked about, because we saw Peter Obi at the coalition meeting at Shehu Musaya Adwa Center, and he talks about, we've had rumors, there are concessions to saying, if I come, there will be no primary, I'll get the ticket, but if there's primary, I may not come. I'd just like to have your view concerning these issues.
You see, as I said earlier, there's nothing wrong in wooing Peter Obi to come. But let me first of all answer his first attempt, and he was able to garner over 6 million plus votes. You see, that time has, I think, to some extent, we can't see it, repeating itself or playing out again. We must be very frank, because many of us, you see, when you know that you are facing a tough fight, maybe when you are preparing. I know those days when we were in school, there are certain courses that give me sleepless night. When I know that if I want to go play football, I will play football again. I will go and read. So when you know, you will prepare. They should be out. See, the man at the end of affairs, as we speak very just now, I don't know why I see him like that. He's a man that knows what the average Nigerian wants. In the wrong way. Permit me. In the wrong way. So you want to do it and have his way. What he's selling his own personal house, his residence, to get that, he will do it. Let nobody deceive you. I mean President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. If you want him selling his own residential house to win, he would. See, if you go back and look at why he was vying for this seat, from even when there was the Buhari boys, the Aso Rock boys, coming up with the barrier against him and all of that, he was able to meander and secure the party's ticket. Now that is the helm of the saddle of leadership. He owns the knife and he owns the yarn. You decide whether you get the head or get the middle. It's going to be very difficult. If we have this in our mind, to be able to guide us to prepare well. For me.
You're talking about the Peter Obi, yeah?
See, for me, I don't like to tell you that there's no substance there. I'm deceiving you. There is substance in the person.
Peter Obi doesn't have
there is substance in the person of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Probability again.
It is slim, very slim. I must be very frank. You see, the only way he can is to look for a viable platform where, as I earlier advocated, both parties come together and provide him the platform. Peter Obi, before noon, Peter Obi will already be announced as the winner. If these two major opposition parties come together, I tell you, before noon. But say he should feature in PDP as it currently stands today, going to be very difficult.
So with
all
of these things,
because you know why? Atiku from the other side, if he decide to come out from ADC, the block vote from the north, take it or leave it, to be divided. Then the south, there is Asiwaju Bola Tinubu factor. The whole of West, whether you like it or not, I know Lagos, but whether you like it or not, to play down. The man is out of leadership now. Let nobody deceive us. Even when they came up with the Naira coloration, it didn't work. The man went. That policy was initiated because of President Ahmed Bola Tinubu to frustrate him. Still, he came up with a Bolivar. You saw it. So for me, Nigerians should have this mind that we know who he is. So we'll go home and prepare. If we say it's enough, no substance, then while we are sleeping, the enemy will come and it's there in the Bible. And so in the midst of your viable crops, so some crops that are not viable, there will be a problem.
Right. So as we're trying to wind down the conversation now, we've talked about the fact that these two parties should come together.
That is my prayer.
The APC.
That is my prayer.
And they may not have enough time now because INEC, with their registration, it takes processes and all of that, except they just decide to move and collapse into one political party and all of that. But let's still look at those that we have at the moment who are potential candidates for 2027. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. And he's not been shy about the fact that he's somebody that wants to run. And even his media people, you could see from the pushing, you know that he's very interested in the process, right? Rotimi Amechi has also, done a lot of speaking. We have people like Omoyele Sowore, who's run for presidency at least 2 times now and may also be running. He's also very interested in that particular process. And we could mention Nasir El-Rufai as to if he will run or not. The names keep coming up. So do you think Nigerian politics have gotten to that place where we could have all of these egos, all of these personalities, forget about their achievements and get behind somebody who looks very promising for the seat?
My elder brother, my senior brother in the struggle, and Sowore, I give it to him because he has been consistent. Take it or leave it. Even as a student, we also how she's dainty very just now, so he has been consistent. Right? But see, the Nigerian there's a Nigerian factor. We've not been able to curtail that Nigerian factor, so it's going to be very difficult for him. See, there are some persons, whether you like it or not, that still drive the process, the political process of this country. We want to be very frank. You must regard them. Take it or leave it. Peter Obi will tell you that. Take it or leave it. So for Sowore, I don't think now. It's my senior brother, both in the struggle and in everything. So I respect him. I love him. I've only met him once or twice. Yeah. But it was very passive. That's on the other side. Again, for my elder, the man that I respect so much, Atiku Abubakar, there are so many factors. You see, let's assume, the last time there was this that brought in between him, the face-off between him and Yedeba. There was this, it is South, time, and the North is coming. And one of the reasons that he formed a collabo with the likes of Amechi, Salaki, and the rest, that they abandoned Goodluck Jonathan at that time, was that Goodluck Jonathan was meant to complete the tenure of the demise, as a result of the demise of Yaradua. And now you want to. So there was this argument back and forth. That was one of the reasons. To me, I said it here. It was the reasons of canvas then. It was quite valid, and he jumped the ship. One would have expected him that now is the time of the South. I would have expected him to back out and watch. Perhaps by now you would have been ripe. For me, I don't see him garnering the South, support underline. Again, the Amechi, with utmost humility, it's a man that I see from afar. He can't even win River State. Let's be very frank. Does he have the clout to be able to
former governor, former minister.
You see, to be a former governor, so I'm not talking about money. You might have the liquid, but I'm talking about the charisma, the reach, the acceptance, with utmost humility. Even from the south, it's not there. I will tell you, with utmost humility, it's not there. But for me, the only person that still stamps out, as I speak very just now, is Peter Obi. There's a caveat that both parties must come together to provide him the platform to run.
Right.
And the Nigerians that are not part of any political parties, at any rate, how many percentage of these parties? If you look at the population of Nigeria, the percentage of Nigerians in PDP, they are not even up to 5%. APC and the like. If you put at average, put all together, I doubt whether they are up to 50% of the Nigerian population. So for me, if you are able to weather the storm and both parties come together, and the Nigerians that are not part of any political party, I see Atiku having the day with utmost humility.
Right.
Sorry, I say Atiku. Peter Obi having the day.
Thank you so much.
For our father, Atiku is a man that I respect so much, and he still commands some respect in the north. He spread to the south by way of his charisma. He has this charisma that you can't take away from him. But I think it's time for him now to play the elder, the father, and allow us, some of us that can do it, to go ahead and do it. Why they give us the advice?
Thank you so much.
I'm not saying I'm running, but I'm just using me as to reach.
You never can tell. Maybe you are telling us something.
No.
Thank you so much, Mr. Destiny.
Thank you very much.
It's always a pleasure to have you.
Thanks for having me.
All right, and that's our show for tonight, people. And do have for yourself a wonderful evening. My name is Ubomo Sorin Abuja, and I'm saying bye-bye for now.